Welcome to the podcast Sound Matters, the impact of technology on music consumption in the early 20th century. A podcast that explores how technology has shaped the way we listen, experience, and connect through sound. I'm your host, Richard L. Beeston, B.A., and in each episode we'll journey through the rich and resonant history of audio, how it evolved, how it changed us, and where it's headed next. In today's debut episode, we're traveling back in time to explore one of the most fascinating transformations in modern history, the evolution of audio, from the invention of the phonograph all the way to streaming music on demand. Imagine a world without recorded sound. No Spotify, no podcasts, no music in your pocket. Just silence, unless you were physically present where the sound was being made. Hard to imagine, right? But not too long ago, that was our reality. A sound revolution begins. Let's rewind the clock. The year is 1877. The telephone has just been patented. Electricity is beginning to change cities. And then something astonishing happens. Thomas Edison invents the phonograph. This machine could record and play back sound, a completely new concept. It used a rotating cylinder wrapped in tin foil and a stylus to etch sound vibrations. Crude? Yes, but revolutionary? Absolutely. For the first time in human history, sound could be captured. It could be preserved, replayed. No longer just a moment, now a memory. And, that changed everything. Fast forward to the 1880s. Enter the gramophone, developed by Emil Berliner. It replaced Edison's cylinders with flat discs, what we now think of as records. This change might seem small, but honestly, it was seismic. Discs were easier to produce, easier to distribute, and easier to store. Music could now travel. A song recorded in New York could be heard in London or Tokyo. It was the beginning of mass audio culture. By the early 20th century, sound took another leap forward, this time into the airwaves. Radio entered homes across the world, bringing news, music, drama, and sports in real time. You didn't need to own a record. You didn't even need to leave your house. You just needed a dial. It was a kind of magic turn it and the world came to you. Radio wasn't just entertainment. It created shared cultural moments. Entire nations would gather around a single broadcast. Sound was no longer a private experience. It was public, collective, and deeply influential. Next came the era of magnetic tape and eventually the cassette. Cassettes changed the game in one simple way. They gave people control. You could rewind, fast forward, pause, and most importantly, record. Suddenly, sound wasn't just something you consumed, it was something you could create. And with that came the rise of the mixtape. A love letter, a memory capsule, a personal soundtrack. It was DIY audio storytelling long before podcasts. Then came the 1980s. Enter the CD. Digital audio meant cleaner sound, no degradation, and instant track access. Gone were the hisses and pops of analog formats. Music became compact, durable, and futuristic. But behind the scenes, an even bigger transformation was brewing: the MP3. This tiny file format compressed audio for easy sharing across the internet. It paved the way for Napster, iTunes, and eventually the iPod. Suddenly, your entire music library could fit in your pocket. And before long, physical ownership itself began to fade. Welcome to the present. Today we stream. We say, "Hey Siri, play my morning mix." We don't think twice about what it means to carry the world's music library in our hand. Platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube have made sound on demand ubiquitous and in some ways invisible. We don't need shelves of CDs. We don't even need to scroll. Sound just arrives. But the evolution isn't over. We're entering an era of AI-generated audio, spatial sound, and immersive listening. From Dolby Atmos to VR concerts, audio is becoming more lifelike, more 3D, more personalized than ever before. And yet, whether it's a scratchy old 78 RPM record or a high-res FLAC file, one truth remains. Sound connects us. It tells our stories. It shapes our memories. From Edison's tinfoil cylinder to streaming songs in seconds, the evolution of audio is a story of ingenuity, culture, and human connection. And this is just the beginning. In upcoming episodes of Sound Matters, we'll dive into how music production changed forever, why radio still matters, and how soundscapes shape our world in surprising ways. So, make sure to follow or subscribe so you don't miss a beat. And if you enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you could leave a review. It helps others discover the power of sound. I'm Richard Beeston, and this is Sound Matters. Thanks for listening. And remember, the world is always speaking.